MINI has rejuvenated its John Cooper Works hot hatch, and this time there's an EV version too. The engineering hasn't changed much with this combustion model, but the cabin design and media systems certainly have. For many people, this will still be the ultimate kind of MINI.
Legendary British engineer John Cooper, who died in 2000, never got to see his full name attached to a BMW-engineered MINI. Hot John Cooper Works variants are now an expected part of any new MINI model line, but it's a JCW version of the small three-door hatch that the great man would have most readily recognised. You do wonder what he'd have thought of it in its latest form, where the John Cooper Works MINI hatch can be had not only in this combustion engine guise, but also in full electric form. The combustion version, which is also offered as a convertible, carries forward much the same engine from the previous generation hatch JCW, but the EV variant, that's a new departure for John Cooper Works MINI fans. It's the brand's entry into a hot hatch EV sector, which is filling up nicely. Let's take a closer look at these JCW models, and to do that, you will, as usual, need the industry's most comprehensive review, the Car and Driving Road Test. If you continue to want your John Cooper Works MINI with combustion power, you won't find too many changes with this F66 version compared with this F56 predecessor. So, as before, it's the twin-scroll turbocharged 2-litre inline 4-cylinder engine from the Cooper S, which in the JCW develops 228 horsepower compared with 204 HP in the Cooper S. As with all F66 MINI hatch models, you now have to have it with a 7-speed dual-clutch paddle-shift automatic transmission. The 0 to 62 miles an hour sprint time hasn't changed, it's still 6.1 seconds, which is actually an achievement because in F66 form, this JCW model actually weighs 35 kilos more. It tips the scales at 1,330 kilos. MINI's upped the torque by 60 newton meters to make sure that performance wasn't affected by that. The JCW convertible is 40 kilos heavier than its predecessor, and that makes 62 in 6.4 seconds. If you want a MINI hatch with a 0 to 62 time beginning with a 5, then you'll need the John Cooper Works electric version. That has a 258 horsepower electric motor, pushing the car to 62 in 5.9 seconds. But of course, it's much heavier. It weighs 1,425 kilos, which isn't very MINI-like at all. That bulk is down to a mid-mounted 54.2 kilowatt-hour battery. 49.2 kilowatt hours of that is usable, and that could give you a range of 251 miles if you were to drive the car in the kind of manner a typical owner never would. The full 258 horsepower output, by the way, 43 horsepower more than an ordinary Cooper Electric SE, along with 350 newton meters of torque, is only available for short periods via a selectable electric boost function. Normal running sees the motor restricted to 227 horsepower. Now, because power comes from just one front-mounted motor, that's some way short of dual-motor rivals like the MG4 X-Power or the smart #1 Brabus. A closer match would be with other single-motor hot hatch EV rivals like the Cupra Born VZ or the Volkswagen ID.3 GTX, neither of which will feel quite as hot as this MINI does, actually. For a John Cooper Works MINI in this part of the market, customers have to have the 3-door body shape or 2 doors with the convertible. MINI wants to ensure that these John Cooper Works models stand out, so there's a 2-tone black and red livery with bonnet stripes, more open grille and more aggressive bumper with air intakes across its flanks. In profile, you might notice the red roof here and the bespoke 17 or 18-inch JCW specific alloy wheels, which are wrapped in high-performance tyres. At the rear, there's a more prominent valance with a central tailpipe, a humped roof spoiler and a checkered flag motif on the tailgate. The John Cooper Works tinsel continues on inside too, where there's plenty of red and black colouring, bespoke fabric for the sport seats, and what Mini calls illuminated headlining. The dashboard's upholstered in uniquely patterned red and black cloth, and there's a grippy sports steering wheel here with change paddles and a fabric strap. There's also bespoke trim for the doors and extra JCW features for the 9.5-inch central touchscreen, including a power and torque converter, plus performance driving displays, which include a G-force meter and an accelerometer. Time to take a look in the back. Well, once you cram yourself into the back, there's less space for heads and legs than virtually any rival you can think of, but then that has always been the case with a 3-door Mini. And this rear bench is restricted to 2 people, in contrast, of course, to the 5-door model, which has a small middle seat. The backrest angle is quite comfortable though. Storage space, well, it's not great. There are no pockets in the front seat backs, but a large cup holder is provided above this high central transmission tunnel. Opt for the panoramic roof that we have here, and headroom is slightly affected. We'll finish by taking a look in the boot. It's 210 litres in size in this 3-door model, which is 65 litres less than you'll get in the 5-door variant. This cargo area is a good square shape, so awkwardly shaped items like pushchairs should just about fit, but it is accessed via this rather high loading lip. There's a shallow rectangular area under the boot floor for smaller items. At the time of this review in early summer 2025, prices for the combustion John Cooper Works 3-door hatch started at around £33,000, while the convertible JCW costs around £37,500. For reference, at the time of this combustion model's introduction, the 54.2 kilowatt-hour John Cooper Works electric, that was around £35,000. This John Cooper Works model gets all the features which would be fitted to a standard sport variant, plus its own unique spec with 17-inch JCW wheels, a high-gloss black JCW exhaust system, John Cooper Works adaptive sport suspension, and a JCW sport steering wheel. Plus niceties too, like a Harman Kardon surround sound audio system and a panoramic glass roof. All Mini hatch models, including this John Cooper Works version, are offered with the option of Mini's Level 3 pack, which has been fitted here already. With this, you get the brand's Parking Assistant Plus 360-degree camera system. You can remote link into this via your smartphone, and you also get the Driving Assistant Plus pack's active cruise control setup with a stop-and-go function. This virtually drives this Mini for you at highway speeds. On to safety provision. This F66 and F65 generation Mini Cooper has been rated a top 5 stars by Euro NCAP. At a minimum, all Cooper models come with the contents of Mini's Driving Assistant Pack. This includes forward collision warning with brake intervention, lane keep assist, blind spot detection, rear collision prevention, and vehicle exit warning. There's driver monitoring too, and thankfully, unlike some rival systems, it's not too intrusive. Talking of intrusive features, we were pleased to find that the mandatory traffic sign recognition run speed limit assistant chime could be easily turned off via a long press of the cruise control set button. Let's get to the efficiency figures. This JCW hatch model manages up to 43.5 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and up to 147 grams per kilometre of CO2. For the JCW convertible, the figures are 40.9 mpg and up to 156 grams per kilometre. You'll need to be a Mini fan to want one of these. Whether this combustion version or the EV variant appeals, you'll find rivals elsewhere with more power and space. But for a typical Mini John Cooper Works customer, that might not matter. None of those competitors quite replicate the look, the feel and the sheer chuckability of a Mini hatch. And if you're smitten by that, then no alternative will satisfy you in quite the same way. As usual with the Mini John Cooper Works, it's possible to argue that you could get 90% of what this car offers for quite a lot less by simply opting for the cheaper Cooper S variants. But if you want the ultimate Cooper hatch, then only the JCW version will do.